Hi everyone. Hard to believe the summer is almost done. I hate to say it. And school is around the corner. We're a week away from school. What's on your mind right now? Probably that we hope our kids are going to have an excellent school year ahead, that they're going to do really well at school this year, get some great marks, make some new friends, and have a happy experience. And then if you add to it the divorced family and what our hopes are, what are the things that are on your mind? Probably you're thinking about how cooperative is my ex going to be this school year? How are they going to behave? Are there going to be any changes? Are we going to get through peacefully, calmly, cooperatively, or is it going to be another year of challenging behavior and obstacles? So I'm going to challenge you to look for the year ahead to be a more peaceful year with your ex. And if you happen to have a really challenging ex to deal with, what can you do to make life a little bit easier for yourself? So one of the things is flexibility. Life happens. Sometimes we need a change in the schedule for one reason or the other. So maybe resolving in yourself, if the other parent requests for you to change something in the schedule, that maybe you'll be a little bit easier in cooperating and allowing that schedule change. And hopefully they will be the same in return, and you'll see a little bit more cooperation throughout the school year because you started it off in a positive way. Maybe you have this ex who you know is sending emails to you that are difficult and they push your buttons, or they send you texts with the same issue or phone calls. Maybe this is the year that you decide, I'm going to let that stuff go. I know that they are difficult. I know that they're not going to change, but I'm in control of me, and I'm in control of how I react and how I deal with that person. And this is the year that you're going to just let it roll off your back. Maybe it means you're going to ignore some of those emails that are triggers for you. Maybe you're going to ignore some of those phone calls, and you're only going to respond or get involved when it's absolutely necessary. Maybe that in itself will reduce some of the aggravation that you face and some of this stress, and that will in turn cause you to have more peace this school year. Maybe you're dealing with an ex that is just really petty. So every little expense, you know, those school expenses, the lunches, the field trips, maybe the ex is constantly at you, hey, I want your contribution. And maybe it's really petty because, you know, sometimes they're just expenses that are, you know, $5 or $10. They don't really make much difference, but that ex is always on you that they want your contribution. Or maybe vice versa. This ex of yours never contributes and you're annoyed, understandably so, and you want that contribution. Could you think about it in a different perspective? So for the person who's never contributing toward you, and it's not fair, and absolutely they should be contributing, but if you know their behavior and you know that this is a constant in your life, could it be that some of those expenses you just kind of accept the fact that this person's not going to contribute? And again, it's not to say it's fair. There's a lot about divorce that is unfair. But sometimes when we accept certain things and we just learn to expect that that's what's going to happen, sometimes the act of acceptance allows us to find a little bit more peace. So if I know that my ex is not going to contribute to anything school related, I don't agree with it. I think it's totally unfair and wrong, but I know that's the way it's going to be. And I know that if I keep taking this person to court or mediation, we're going to spend all this money, but that person's still going to behave the same way. Sometimes if I can just accept that maybe I'm the one that's on the hook for those expenses, it actually just gives us some peace. We have peace of mind because we've accepted the way it's going to be. Now, obviously, if they're huge expenses and it's absolutely necessary for the other person to contribute, you might go down a different avenue for that. But when it's those minor expenses, $5 or $10 or $15 here and there, is it worth your while to stress over, or is it better that you've accepted that you will be the one that's paying for those items? But look, you're in control. You have gotten rid of the stress that you might otherwise face by always contacting the ex for money because you know that they're just not going to cooperate. What about just the idea of, hey, I want life dealing with this person to be a little bit more peaceful. And if that person is causing me aggravation, I'm going to find other coping mechanisms to help myself deal and not always let them push my buttons. So that could be many different things for different people. It could just be having a therapist or counselor that you get to talk to on a regular basis and vent and get it out so that you've gotten rid of those negative feelings and you're able to move forward in your life peacefully, understanding that that person's always going to be the way they are, but you now have a coping mechanism to deal with it. Maybe it's just doing yoga or going for a walk or talking to a friend. Whatever that is, that thing that makes you feel better, having something in place so that you can deal with all of those negative emotions when that person comes to you and causes you aggravation. This school year, let's make it about a more positive, more peaceful, more calm school year, regardless of what that other person is doing. And let's remember our focus. Our focus is our kids going to school, having a great year ahead, doing well in school, being happy, and being okay that they have two households with two different parents, but two parents that are acting maturely and are cooperating and allowing the children to be happy and not stuck in the middle of some kind of fight. I wish you guys a great school year ahead, and I hope your children have a very successful school year. Take care.